Before we dive into this story, take a second to subscribe to Strange History, where we uncover the forgotten, the forbidden, and the incredible inventions that changed the world, often from behind the front lines. Now, imagine this. The most advanced military gear of World War II wasn't always something soldiers were proud to use. In fact, some of it became so controversial, destructive, or unpredictable that it was banned, completely outlawed, after the war. Yet those same inventions quietly laid the foundations for modern warfare as we know it today. This is the story of the banned World War II gear that shaped modern combat. Tools so effective and so dangerous, they changed how the world fights forever. The flamethrower was one of the most terrifying weapons of World War II. Portable or vehicle-mounted, it could project a stream of burning liquid fuel up to 100 feet, clearing bunkers and trenches in seconds. Both the Axis and Allies used them. The German Flammenwerfer 41, the American M2, and even Japanese and Soviet versions. They were brutally efficient in close-quarters combat, especially in the Pacific, where dense jungles hid fortified positions. But after the war, the flamethrower was deemed too inhumane. The Geneva Conventions didn't outright ban it, but nearly all modern armies phased it out, considering it a psychological weapon of terror rather than strategy. Ironically, the technology behind flamethrowers, controlled pressurization, fuel compression, and ignition systems became the basis for modern jet engines and industrial fuel systems. Out of destruction came innovation. White phosphorus grenades were, another terrifying innovation. When exposed to air, phosphorus ignites instantly, burning at over 800 degrees Celsius and, well, sticking to flesh. World War II soldiers used them to create smoke screens or destroy enemy supplies, but in practice they often caused horrific, uncontrollable fires. The British No. 76 grenade, nicknamed the Molotov bomb, was issued for home defence but quickly proved too unstable for regular use. After the war, these weapons were banned, or, heavily restricted due to their indiscriminate and long-lasting effects. Yet the concept of smoke screen deployment from phosphorus grenades evolved into, modern non-lethal versions. The same smoke grenades and signal markers used by rescue teams, firefighters, and militaries today. It's a haunting reminder that progress often begins in fire. If you've ever seen Saving Private Ryan, you might remember soldiers slapping an explosive covered in grease and glue onto a tank. That wasn't fiction. It was the No. 74 sticky bomb, developed by the British Army. Designed to stick to metal and destroy enemy armour, it was brilliant in concept, but honestly disastrous in execution. The bomb used a glass sphere filled with nitroglycerin and coated in adhesive. The problem? It often stuck to the user's uniform before they could throw it. Despite its risks, the sticky bomb paved the way for modern magnetic and shaped charge explosives used in anti-tank mines and demolition charges today. The sticky idea became the basis for magnetic limpet mines used by divers and special forces for decades afterward. It was banned because it was just too unpredictable, but its legacy is embedded in almost every explosive engineer's playbook. A little-known German invention, the Degen mine, combined a landmine and a flamethrower. When triggered, it shot a burst of flaming fuel upward, creating a wall of fire that could kill infantry or destroy vehicles. It was both horrifying and ingenious, using chemical propellants to ignite fuel instead of relying on a standard explosion. But its use violated basic warfare ethics and was banned after 1945. The science behind it, however, inspired modern fuel-air explosives, weapons that use atmospheric oxygen to create high-energy blasts. These are still used by militaries today, though under much stricter conventions and targeting controls. It's another example of how the Second World War's darkest inventions pushed technology into the future, for better or worse. Small, sinister, and honestly way ahead of its time, the butterfly bomb was the first true cluster bomb. Dropped in swarms by the Luftwaffe, it released dozens of small submunitions that scattered over wide areas. Each bomb could detonate on impact or after a delay, creating chaos and, preventing safe movement through bombed zones. The Allies later developed similar weapons, recognizing their tactical effectiveness, but the aftermath was devastating. Civilians often found unexploded butterflies that looked like toys. After the Second World War, cluster munitions became, one of the most controversial weapons on Earth. Modern versions do exist, but more than 100 countries have since signed treaties banning or restricting them. Still, the butterfly bomb changed air warfare forever, leading to precision-guided munitions and the concept of area denial. That's controlling terrain not by presence, but by threat. Perhaps the most chilling of all, Germany developed nerve agents like tabun and sarin in the early 1940s. These were so lethal that a drop the size of a pinhead could kill a man within minutes. The Nazis stockpiled tons of these shells, but never actually used them, possibly out of fear of Allied retaliation. After the war, the Allies captured these chemical stockpiles and, used the research to develop modern protective gear and antidotes. By the 1990s, the use of nerve gas was completely banned under international law. Yet the science behind its detection and neutralization still honestly defines modern CBRN. That's chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense. In a rather grim twist, the race to counter these banned weapons really accelerated advances in gas masks, filters, and sensors that today protect millions. Invented in 1942 by Harvard chemists, napalm, a sticky, slow-burning fuel gel, became one of the Second World War's most effective incendiaries. It clung to surfaces, burned hotter than oil, and was used to clear forests, bunkers, and fortified positions. But its effects on civilians and the environment were honestly catastrophic. After Vietnam, the use of napalm was restricted under multiple international treaties. And yet the chemistry behind napalm evolved into modern controlled burn compounds, the same technology used for firefighter training and, interestingly, space fuel research. It's a stark paradox. The weapon that burned cities helped us build safer, more efficient fuels in peacetime. The irony of World War II's banned gear is that much of it couldn't simply be erased. It became the foundation of modern military science, from jet propulsion and explosives to protective armor and rescue tools. Each of these inventions walked the line between genius and madness, progress and atrocity. They remind us that war drives innovation, but also teaches restraint. The gear we can't buy today wasn't forgotten because it failed. It was buried because it succeeded too well. And that's the strange truth about forbidden technology. It never really disappears. It just changes shape. If you're fascinated by the hidden inventions that shaped modern warfare, hit subscribe and check out my video on the secret World War II fabric that made tarps obsolete. Because sometimes the smallest, strangest tools make the biggest impact on history.